Hi, my name is Tabitha. Welcome to True Crime and Coffee, where every Tuesday we come and talk about true crimes. Today we will be talking about a case that has been pretty heavy on my mind lately. I stumbled across the daughter of two of the accused on TikTok, and she is trying to get justice for her father. But I'll get into more of that later. Today we'll be talking about Bobby Kent and the 7 people that were involved in his murder. Now, before we get into the actual case, I kind of want to give some background on both Bobby and his best friend Marty, because Marty played a really major role in this, and their friendship should really be known. It's not like it wasn't a secret. People knew that they were friends. People knew they were best friends. Their parents didn't mind their friendship for the most part. Like, Bobby's dad didn't really like that he was friends with Marty, and Marty's parents were kind of just glad that he had a friend. So let's get into Bobby Kent. Bobby Kent was born May 12th, 1973 to Fred and Farah Kent in Iran. Not too long after he was born, they moved to Hollywood, Florida, where he met Marty in the 3rd grade. The prosecutor in the case, Tim Donnelly, actually said, like Eddie Haskell, all the parents loved him in the neighborhood, but the kids looked at him in a different way. Meaning, like, he was one way with the parents, but he was a completely different way with the kids. Bobby was considered popular, courageous, and handsome. He graduated high school and was attending community college and was serious about bodybuilding and had entrepreneur he wanted to be an entrepreneur. Didn't know that word was so hard to pronounce. Back to his friendship with Marty. In order to get into the friendship, I think we should kind of know where Marty came from as well. Marty Puccio was born in Brooklyn, New York on March 21st, 1993. He was born Martin Joseph Puccio Jr. He also ended up obviously moving to Hollywood, Florida. That's where he met Bobby in the 3rd grade. He was Italian American, and he was raised Roman Catholic. Bobby and Marty met in the 3rd grade, like I stated. Their friendship kind of started off rocky. Even in the 3rd grade, Bobby kept trying to pressure Marty into doing things that he normally wouldn't do. Not only that, Marty's parents can actually recall in the 3rd grade that Marty would come home bruised and bleeding after hanging out with Bobby. They didn't really like the idea of them hanging out, and they actually told him to cut ties with him. They thought that there was just too much roughhousing, the boys will be boys thing. And so they told him to just not be friends with them anymore. Problem solved. Once they reached high school, Marty really just got tired of the love-hate, abusive relationship between him and Bobby. So he would actually beg his parents to move from Hollywood, Florida, just anywhere else, even another town over. But his parents couldn't really afford that. They didn't want to uproot their whole family again. And it costs money to move. And I mean, I know it's hard to kind of understand when you're going through things like that, but you can't just up and move sometimes. So he did eventually end up going and staying with relatives in Brooklyn for a while, but he did come back. he got right back into the same friendship with Bobby. In high school, both the boys were known to bodybuild, and it was even rumored that they were using steroids, which kind of led to Bobby's more volatile and hostile treatment of Marty. By 11th grade, Marty had actually dropped out of high school. I couldn't really find the reason why, but it wouldn't really surprise me if it had something to do with the friendship with Bobby. Bobby's parents actually believed that Marty was the issue in the friendship and even tried to convince Bobby to no longer be friends with Marty. His dad was constantly pressuring him to kind of drop the friendship, but of course Marty and Bobby were best friends and Bobby didn't really want to do that. After high school, Bobby began filmmaking and even kind of hitting up kind of the gay scene because he saw how rampant the business was growing, and so he kind of just wanted to be a part of it, and he was even known to have made his own gay film. However, it didn't really do very well because it was just one solo man playing with a dildo. I mean, that's just the best way to put it. It's what it was. But it didn't sell. No one liked the quality of the video. No one liked the video itself, so it never really sold. There was also rumors swirling that he was pimping out Marty at gay bars, but it's not really confirmed. I haven't seen anything on Marty's daughter's TikTok to confirm that he was pimped out at any point in time, but I am on the lookout. So if it is updated that happened, I'll update the video, put it in the description or something along those lines. At one point, Marty began dating a Lisa Connolly. Lisa was born on July 31st, 1974. They dated kind of briefly, and she's kind of the one that really started telling Marty that she didn't really like the way that Bobby was treating him. And as you would guess, Marty really probably just didn't really want to hear that. Bobby's his best friend, but Lisa became pregnant, and when she found out she was pregnant, she really wanted that long-term relationship with Marty, and she knew she couldn't really have that if he was still friends with Bobby. And so I skipped over a lot of stuff. Marty began dating Lisa, and Lisa had a friend, Allie, and Allie would date Bobby briefly, so they would all like hang out together. But Allie and Bobby only dated for a couple of weeks. It was said that within that time he raped her and abused her, and so she finally left. Now, I think it's worthwhile to mention that Allie did have a child from a previous relationship, and so when she and Bobby broke up, she moved away so that she could raise her child with her parents or something like that. There's not too much information. I hear conflicting things on whether or not she went to go raise the child with her parents or if she went and lived on her own. But regardless, she moved away and she wanted to kind of try to raise her baby. And not long after Bobby and Allie breaking up, Lisa finds out that she's pregnant. And with this new discovery, she decides that she wants a long-term relationship with Marty. He's the father of her child. She wants to be with him. And so she kind of starts talking to Marty about the way that Bobby's treating him and how it's not right. He doesn't deserve that. There's no reason Bobby should be hitting him, things like that. And you know, Bobby doesn't want to really hear that. And she comes up with, we could just kill him. You still want to be friends with him. You don't want to like cut ties. You're scared of what would happen if you cut ties. Kill him. Problem solved. And Marty at first was kind of like, no, it's not a good idea. But Lisa ends up calling Allie and telling Allie, hey, you know, Bobby said that he's gonna come kill you and your child. You need to get down here. We need to do something about this. And so Allie goes and she gets her new boyfriend. Allie goes and gets her boyfriend Donald Simonak and their friend Heather Swallers. And how she convinced these two people to come kill a stranger is beyond me. But she gets them, and then she rides on down to Lisa and Marty, and they all meet up and they start kind of hatching a plan. At first, their plan was to kind of just meet up with Bobby and, you know, kind of have Allie act like she wants to, like, sleep with him and tell him, you know, he can drive her Mustang. And Lisa took her mom's pistol and went out with them and was planning on killing him that night. However, Donald, Heather, and Marty all chickened out. None of them wanted to be a part of it, so they all went home. And then Lisa and Allie stuck around, but Lisa ended up chickening out. And because of them chickening out, they left, obviously. They left and they went and met with Derek Kaufman. Now, Derek was a self-proclaimed hitman. He went around telling people he was in a gang, and you want somebody dead, I got you back, you know. And Lisa said, all right, cool, bet. And went up there and she asked him, you know, hey, can you kill this guy? He's an issue. We want the issue over. And he was like, yeah, how do you want it done? And she was like, you know, a gun. But I want it done tonight. And he said, no, I can't do that. So Lisa wasn't taking no for an answer. She really wanted him dead that night. And so they left. You know, he said, I can't do that, I'm sorry. So they left and went back to Lisa's house. Allie, Heather, Donald, and Marty. Sorry. Allie, Heather, Donald, and Lisa all go back to Lisa's house, where they're joined by Derek. I can't say that. I don't know how to say his last name. So we're just gonna call him Derek D. I'm really sorry, Derek. But he's Lisa's cousin. And they like still kept talking about, you know, we're gonna kill him. They've got this new random person in this group. And, well, not random, I mean, it's Lisa's friend, but it's still a new person in this group. And they're still like, yeah, no, we're gonna kill him. Okay. Later in the night, on July 14th, 1993, the seven all got together. I don't... How do you convince so many different people to join in on this kill on somebody that you just don't like? Like, I understand Allie, kind of understand Donald, and Marty, obviously, and Lisa. But now you've got this self-proclaimed hitman, this random girl that's friends with Allie, and now your cousin, and you're all gonna get together and off this guy? Like, what does he have to do with these other people? Why are these other people like, yeah, cool, let's go? I just... make better friends, y'all. Just make better friends. But July 14th, 1993, they all get together. They're at Marty's house and they plan on finalizing it. Like, this is the night we're gonna get it done. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's tonight. So Marty called Bobby and was like, hey, you know, come over, let's hang out, let's, you know, drive the Mustang, let's do our little dance, whatever. And even actually told him that Allie wanted him there, that Allie was like, DTF. And so Bobby, of course, being Bobby, was like, all right, bet, like, I'm gonna pull up. While they were waiting, they all gathered their weapons together. They had 2 knives, 1 baseball bat, 1 lead pipe, and I said that like there was more, but that's it. Around about 11:30, they picked Bobby up from his house and drove to a construction site. Upon arrival, which was according to plan, Marty took Bobby off to the side and was like chit-chatting with him, kind of trying to keep him distracted. I don't know how people do this from memory because I can barely even remember my phone number. So Heather ends up walking up and joining Bobby and Marty in their little chit-chat. Next thing you know, here comes Donald, stabbing him in the back of the neck. And of course, Bobby's like frazzled. He doesn't have any idea what's going on whatsoever. And he's like asking Marty for help. Marty's his best friend, you're supposed to help me. And instead, Marty also stabs him. And they kind of both stab him a couple of times. Within this time, Bobby is obviously trying to apologize for whatever he did in order to make him so mad that he would want to kill him. And he even tries to run away. However, Marty grabs him. And then Marty, Donald, and Derek Kaufman all begin to continue to wound him. And at this point, Marty just kind of like slits his throat. He's like, done. And then he bashes his head on the ground. And they're like, all right, cool, we're done. And Derek Kaufman ends up pretty much saying that's not enough. And he walks up to Bobby and he hits him in the head with a baseball bat, which ultimately did end up killing him. Now, after they were done, they still had to clean up. And the idea was that they would put him in the marsh and the alligators would get him. Both Derek's, Donald and Marty all drag him into the marsh, thinking that alligators would actually just eat the decaying body. I don't know. I don't. This is the part where I'm like, what are you doing? So they all plan this elaborate murder of this one person, and they keep recruiting all these different people, but it's murder. However, nobody could really keep their mouth shut. Lisa and Derek, cousin Derek, and actually like confiding in Lisa's mom, with Lisa's mom, saying, you know, what do we do? And Lisa's mom calls Derek's mom, hey, you know, we got this situation, our kids just killed somebody. And they ended up calling their brother, who then puts them in touch with a detective, and they spill the beans. I don't really know how else to say it, because you just killed this person so you could be with somebody, and now you're gonna go snitch on yourself. So I think it's worthwhile knowing at this point, Heather did nothing. Literally, Heather didn't tell on anybody, but she didn't kill Bobby. She didn't orchestrate it. She didn't have any kind of plans whatsoever. She just kind of sat in the car. But of course, that's enough to be an accessory. Whether you did anything or not, you're an accessory. So they end up finding Bobby's body, and they end up charging all 7 of them with multiple different things. Marty, Derek Kaufman, and Donald all got life for the actual killing. Derek D got 2nd degree because he kind of made like a plea. So he got 2nd degree murder, was sentenced to 7 years, and then they added 4 because he lied on the stand. Make better choices. Lisa got life plus 5, and then she appealed and actually only had to serve 11 years. Allie was charged with 2nd degree murder. She got 40 years. She only served 6. I think she also appealed. And then Heather only got 7 years for being the accessory. I think it's kind of worth mentioning, Lisa got out after planning, orchestrating, whole 9, the death of her boyfriend's friend, because of what mostly started out as jealousy. She was jealous that Bobby and Marty were spending time together, and then she really just didn't like the way he was treating Marty. So she wanted him dead. That's obviously the next reasonable thing to do. I don't like you. I don't like how you treat my boyfriend. Bye. She got out in 11 years. She raised the baby she was pregnant with at the time. Raised her. And went on to get married and have another kid. Heather also got married. She lives a kind of quiet life, so you don't really hear much about her. And then Allie got out, and she was arrested a couple more times for like retail shoplifting and things like that. At the end of the day, what makes you sit down and say, I don't like your friend, we're gonna kill him? And then on top of that, the strangers. How did you wrap strangers into this? I can understand Allie going and being a part of this, because Allie had somewhat of a part in it. Meaning, she dated Bobby. Bobby knew she had a kid. Bobby sexually assaulted her. Lisa used that to her advantage and said, hey, you know, he's gonna kill you and your kid. Come date him. Or if you don't want to do that, we'll just kill him, it's fine. And I can understand being fearful for your life because of that. And I can understand fearing for your child's life. But Donald didn't know Bobby. Donald had no idea who Bobby even was. But Allie asked him to come kill this guy, and he was like, yeah, cool, let's go. And Heather was just along for the ride. She was like, okay, cool, whatever, until it was really time, and then she kind of hid. Which, in all fairness, none of the girls really actively participated in the murder, but participated in the planning. But Donald and Derek Kaufman really like strike me as unsensible. Like, you don't know Bobby. You know nothing of Bobby. You know barely how much he treats Marty. And you're just gonna come kill him because somebody said to come kill him. So I guess moral of the story is make better choices in friends, because some of them can really drag you down. I just don't understand. If you would like to go check out Marty's daughter's TikTok and kind of see where things are at with that, I will link her TikTok right here for you to follow if you would like. You might be able to find out a little bit more information, more things from like Marty's side. Thank you for joining me on this wild ride. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The next coming up video, I will be starting a series of serial killers from around the United States, starting off with Alabama. So be sure to join me for that. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, night, whatever time it is for you. Don't forget to drink water and make good choices.